Hi everybody, my name's Sharon. I'm from Shaz Bears in Australia. I've been sending out a few kits in the last week because of the coronavirus and people are at home not doing anything in Australia and overseas. So I thought I'd better do a quick video because a lot of these kits I'm sending are bunnies, and I think they're a little bit tricky how to do the nose and the ears. So I thought I'll just do this really quickly. But my other video on YouTube is 10 years ago, so I have changed a little bit. Remember, it's in lockdown, so I haven't really got any makeup on or my hair done too well, but that doesn't matter because we're all having fun doing bears. Now, the first thing is to cut out all your pieces, sew them up. So I've given you in the kits, all the patterns are already drawn onto the fabric, so you don't need to worry about that. You'll end up with 2 feet with the paw pads sewn around or back stitch. Hopefully you all know how to do back stitch. You can YouTube how to do that. 2 arms like this, one way, one the other, a head, a body, and ears. Now to start off, I've just stuffed the body. I use a Dacron, looks like this. It's what goes in patchwork, and it's just a nylon, but it's really quite thick, so it's great and it stays in shape. You stuff it into the head. I use this tool like a blunt screwdriver. I just got my husband to cut the end off the screwdrivers. They're a fantastic stuffing tool. I grab a good amount because you don't want too smaller pieces because it gets very lumpy. So I put a whole lot of stuffing in. It does take a lot of stuffing. And it's important to puff out his cheeks. So when you get it in, be careful not to put your tool through the fur, but really stuff in his cheeks. Once you've done that, I've started to cut off some of his fur. So I do a line there, a line there, a line at the back, line at the front. And then you just continue to turn the head around. And I always cut the fur off before I put the disc in his head because, well, this is going to be a very hard one to do. Well, I'm trying to video it to show you, but we cut off most of his fur and you can always cut more at the end. I love these little brushes. Make sure you've got sharp scissors too. It's very, can you see how I've sort of got his little face? You can see that. The next thing is to get a joint. It's a little red disc that I've put in the kits. Comes with the pin. Pin goes in through the joint goes in the head. You sew all that together. That gets sewn together. I'll just do it quickly. I don't want to bore you too much, but we'll just sew that up so that, and remembering I would take a lot longer to do all this trimming and stuffing, but I'm trying to do it on video. I've been doing bears for probably 27 years. I've made, I couldn't even imagine how many, I think 6,000 maybe. I sell them all over the world and I've done it since I was quite young, and I've been lucky to stay home with my 2 boys and be able to do this. I'm in my studio at the moment, which is pretty dead because we've closed down because of the coronavirus. We're all sitting at home. So it's a bit lonely without doing my classes. I usually do classes 3 nights a week. So there's his little head. The next thing in the kit comes eyes. Now these eyes, they've got little loops in them, if you can see that. And I use a special thick nylon thread. They apparently use this thread for making shoes. You can use dental floss. I've put this thick thread into the kit so you'll know what it is. Thread the eyes to a very big needle, or it doesn't have to be that big, that's just an easier way. I put the eyes straight through his head to the back, pull it out, and he has an eye. You do the same, and if it's in the wrong spot, the good thing is you can take it out and you can do it again, so it's not stuck in. Once you've done it, you can take it out. So about there. Perfect. Do the same with the other eye. You get 2 eyes. The video is really to show you the nose and the ears, but you can't have a bunny without eyes. Through there. Now to judge the distance, I pull that one out. See how it's hanging? I judge my needle across and come out pretty much, see that this next to it. And pull it in, and that gives it, at the back, you've got 4 pieces of cotton. Tie them off. And he's got eyes. And then you can just lose those pieces at the back. I just make sure that you don't just cut them off. You actually put your needle back through, thread them all through, pull it out and do another knot, so he's quite secure. And as I said, you can always trim more later. Now this is the bit I wanted to show you, the nose, because my noses are a little bit special. I use a double thread, no knot. I start right on the seam and come up. Just cut that off. Back in, up. I go round one side. I hope you can see this. I go back in, up. Round the other side, back in, up. And what I'm really doing is just going one side, always in the same hole. That side. So I'm going straight up the same hole, straight down, straight up. I could keep going. It does take a while to do because you just keep going each side. When it gets hard to do, I like getting the pliers, and I actually do my noses with pliers. Down one side, straight up. Now to end that off, I would keep going, but I'm going to do it quickly for the video. Just come straight through the back of his head. Take that out, and you can end that off. Everything gets ended up around that point. And he's got a little nose. The next bit, even though the nose would be neater and bigger, the next bit is his little mouth. So again, I use single thread. I come up, straight up the middle of the nose. There's no need for a knot. I don't know why, it just seems to stay. Go round the side of the nose, back up. Like that, round that side. And then you continue to do the mouth, which is very tricky to do without. So I haven't even trimmed all these fur off, but I've come down on the angle. That's the seam for his mouth. I've come on the side. You want equal distance on the other side. And I come up, twist that around. Ta-da! He's got a mouth. And that's all it is. And again, straight through the back of his head, pull that out. I wouldn't normally have all those threads at the back, and he would be a much handsomer little rabbit, but that's basically it. And then you lose all those threads. One more step for the head is the ears. I get very thin wire, put it into the ear. Now you can sew this together. You could sew that together with a stitch. I use a glue gun because I just find it, I love glue guns. I know it's not really a bear thing. I put glue into there, squash it down, and then push it together. And then you've just got 2 little bits hanging out and the little bit of tiny bit of glue. You can't even really feel it. Cut off the ends. get an owl or very sharp scissors. We'll use sharp scissors. Where his seam is, right on the top of his head, you put a hole. It's hard, quite deep, don't worry. Push the wire through. You can either sew it on with little stitches. Again, I know it's not really a bear thing. I put a tiny, see how tiny little bit of glue in a little ball? Into the hole, get my tweezers, push it in. Ta-da, he's got ears. Same with the other ear. You can sew it, so easy. We'll give him some whiskers. I put the cotton that you used to sew up the bunny. We'll use that as whiskers. I go through his muzzle once, twice, snip, snip. He's got little whiskers. Cute bunny. If he had 2 ears, he'd be really cute. Then the only last thing, one more thing, is to join it. Put his head straight through the body. I don't mark it because you can just decide where you want his head, straight through the middle. You don't even need to leave a gap. You can just push it through. Open it up. Your pin will be there. Get your red disc on top. Pliers, any pliers. Pull the big one towards you and twist like the old-fashioned sardines can. This one. Twist, twist, 2 twists. He's then jointed. And you join all the arms and legs the same way. And he is done. Stuff him, sew him up. He's ready. Happy Easter. One more thing I just wanted to show, which is in my kits. A lot of people have ordered tiny little bunnies. I haven't put joints in them. I don't joint that size. I use string joint, which means that you use the string I've supplied in the kit, which is again this thick nylon thread. I'll just do it quickly because I know this is a very long video. You use a big needle with the cotton and you just go straight. You put your arms and legs. This is another bear I'm making. He's got a beautiful hat. Haven't finished him. Dying to finish this one. I have jointed this one, so I'm just showing you on him. But you just go straight through the arms and legs with your cotton, back through, and do the same with the arms. So he's just jointed with this special nylon thread, and that seems to really work well with the little ones because they're so small they don't really need a joint. It makes them a bit pudgy. Well, thank you for listening to my video. Any questions, just email me at shazbears@optusnet.com.au, or you can see me on Facebook page, my Shaz Bear Facebook page. I'd love to answer any of your questions. Anyone who wants a kit, you can go to Bear Pile. You can ask me about any bears on there. I'm even happy to send at this time of our lives outfits. If you're happy to wait a little bit, a week or 2 for the outfits. I have a beautiful lady that helps me make them. You can order hats, cardigans. My mum makes the cardigans. She'd love to sell you some cardigans. I'll just show you. My room's a bit messy because I've been making up lots of kits, but this is my workshop. These are all my dresses. Lots of gorgeous little cardigans. My bears are a little bit empty at the moment. We've been selling them, which is surprising considering our time of life at the moment with the coronavirus. Some little bears. So thanks guys, and happy bear making.